first seminar down here in California. I've done a lot of teaching mainly in Japan, but I figure now is a good time to try and highlight what I've been learning throughout the years from all the different people that I've trained under, such as Matt Hume, Eric Paulson, Billy Robinson, Carl Gotch himself, may he rest in peace, and Minoru Suzuki, and many other people throughout the world that have, they have a wealth of knowledge, and I'm just lucky and eager to get as much from as possible. Today, we're going to use all of these concepts, but we're going to put them towards something that's towards a more modern setting, which is dealing with the guard. Everybody knows the guard. Everybody runs into the guard. The guard is an aspect of today's submission and Vale Tudo, mixed martial arts fights throughout the entire world. It's just not something that you're gonna that is gonna be foreign anywhere you go to. You're gonna have to deal with it. So, one concept about the guard is that the guard is a neutral position. A lot of submission training teaches you to recover guard, recover guard, recover guard, recover guard. Well, I'm going to show you things that are going to make you being in someone else's guard an advantage for you. That this guy can recover guard all he wants, but getting the guard is not going to put him someplace safer or better. He's going to get punished just as bad there as he was from side control, and eventually he's going to wish he was never underneath me at all. And that's the whole point of today's seminar. People think, they think once they get in guard, a whole bunch of options have gone out, but no, that's not true. Nobody ever wants to be underneath me, and I can guarantee you that from the people that train with me. And I want to teach you guys all the same things that I use to make the guard an advantage position for me. Well, great to have you guys here today. Also, another suggestion, I will usually suggest in the future wrestling shoes for seminars, just because, and training in general, I prefer them because it protects my toes, my feet. I don't know if any of you have ever had someone kick one of your toenails back. Oh, it's a son of a bitch. It takes forever to get over. Blood everywhere, and you're walking around crying and looking like a baby, even though you're beating everybody up. So, wrestling shoes are a suggestion of mine. It's not a necessity, and certainly if you don't feel comfortable working with wrestling shoes, that's okay. But in the future, I highly recommend using them. All right, so we're going to start off by getting warm as if you're not sweating already. Lead it off, 10 laps around the gym here. Go! Just straight forward, the blue mat's over here. Then, when you get to 10 laps. Go. We're going to do jumping jacks. 3 count. 3 count jumping jack is 2, 1, 2. Got it? Everybody together. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3. Hinge squats. We're going to do 25. Toes pointing forward. 25. Left leg forward. 25. Right leg forward. 25. On your toes. 25. Feet face forward again. First set. Feet forward. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, drop 20 push-ups. Ready? Go! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to do some new push-ups. One nice wide tripod base. And out forward. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. Still keep the tripod base. Down, go to the ground, and up. And back. 10. Everybody tripod position. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, you haven't hit yet, make sure you see your hamstrings, quads, pecs, shoulders, low back. Good. Let's go. These YP seminars, I know usually one area that people don't go over is they don't bother to have their guys warm up before getting on the mat. And I think this is something that it's important, not just physicality and being in shape, but it's also important to get blood into your muscles. You're going to be using these things. And usually at the end of a seminar, a lot of people like to go ahead, they get a chance to meet with all these other like-minded folks, they might want to roll. Well, I don't want any of you guys getting hurt today, but I also want you to be able to give your best effort towards learning techniques presented. And to do that, you got to be stretched out, you got to have blood in your muscles, you got to be warm, you got to have a little bit of sweat going on. Because you might cool down a little bit as we go, although not in 80 with the fitness right now, but even still, want to make sure nobody gets hurt, everybody gets an opportunity to get the most out of the seminar. All right, so as we work today, it's going to go in a bit of an order where I think that where you're going to the beginning points to start with that are going to help lead into the next level, the next phase of the seminar that'll lead into the next phase of the seminar. That by the time that we get through all the different concepts and points and techniques, starting from point A and ending in point B, it's all going to put it together. And point A is actually going to help you better understand and better use point B by the time you get there, which is something that I like to do when I teach anyways, because fighting is not static. It's not just one move, one situation. It's about how everything works together to get you where you want to be. All right, so first off, what we're going to work on is posturing and positioning in the guard. First thing we're going to work on is some key basic commandments. This is actually just straight from amateur wrestling, and this goes for fighting, period. Never let them control your head or your head. Always control their hands and their head. Okay? So a common situation is Rob's got my wrist and he's got my neck. How many people have seen this before? So first off, I'm always going to peel the hand off my neck first, either by reaching up and peeling it down, or by attacking the elbow and pushing it off. I'm going to wrist roll and get my hands free. Once I've taken control of my head and my hands away from him, I'm never going to let him get it back. If he sits up and tries to lock onto my head, I'm going to shove him down, either by his face or just by simply, if he sits up, tries to grab my head, go ahead and sit up, sit up, sit up. I'm going to continue to keep shucking it off my neck, grab my hands, my elbows. I'm going to continue to have hand control. I never want to give him hand control or head control ever for whatever reason whatsoever. I always want to control his head and his hands. And another key point about this is wherever somebody's head goes, their body follows. So if he has control of your head, your neck, he's got control of your body, essentially. So, what I'd like to do, start off having the guy grab your head in your hand, or shucking the elbow off, or you can just peeling the fingers, getting your hands free. You can go back and forth, other side, shuck, rip. The other thing I want you guys to work on is once you do establish control, what we're going to do what's called posture. We're going to sit high in the guard, strong base, butt down, elbows back, hands together. I don't want to get into a habit of having one hand out and one hand in, because he's going to triangle me, he's going to isolate an arm. It gives him an opportunity to take one of my limbs and control it. If I've got both hands, at least I can bring my body to it to give myself more strength. Because another key fundamental is, the farther your hand is away from your head, the weaker it is. Simply put, if I'm here, and I'm trying to pull my arm that way, I don't have much power. If I've got my head down, I've got tons of power here with my hand. And I can use my whole body if I have to. The farther my hands are away from my body, my head, the weaker I am. The more that they can actually isolate my arm and attack just my arm. Whereas if they're close to my body, now I'm using my lats, my shoulders, my neck, my low back, everything. It's the difference between attacking one limb and attacking my whole body. So, He grabs control of my head in my hand. Off, off. Come to your posture. Come back down again. Let him get a hold on the other side. Get it off. We're going to go through that. Then we're going to go back to hand control. Practice getting your hands free. Okay? Partner up. There you go. Clear the hand off the head first. Always. Get head control first, then get hand control. Reach up sometimes. Go ahead and grab the neck. You can either pull the hands up. There you go. Now, if you can get hand control first, go ahead and use that to get it off the neck. But first off, I always try to get the hand off my neck first. Go ahead and grab the wrist. That's it. So you can push the elbows down and across. Or if you're having trouble there, it's really strong, reach up and feel the fingers. Wedge inside. Nice. Good. And once you've gotten that control back, posture. Sit up tall. There you go. All right, take a look inside. Can I add something else to this? Woo! Same concept though. You got hold of my hand. We're probably going to try and come. Oh, there you go. One common technique that folks will do to try and break your posture down is he's going to pull my wrist forward and pull his knees to his chest. I don't know, like that. Yank me in with your guard. See, now he's got me back in. He'll try and get underhooks or get my head in an underhook. We don't want to be here. No matter what, we're going to have to try and get back out of this. Before we learn how to get out of that, though, why don't we learn how not to even get to there in the first place? Grabs my wrist. Okay, first off is wrist roll. I'm gonna go into his thumb. Bing, bing. Okay, I'm gonna sit back. Bam, bam. Okay, some people have hellacious grips because they swing the mace bell and clubs and do lots of pull-ups and such. I can't get my arm free. So, we're gonna use a common tactic in wrestling which is called 2-on-1. Now once I have control of his hand, I can go ahead and rip my arm free. To do that, I'm going to use a little assistance. He may have both these hands and I can't quite pull them away, but I highly doubt he'll be able to stop me from reaching across to his own other hand. But I get my thumb inside his grip, and I'm going to get my fingers down in towards his thumb, pry my hand off, and control this arm. And 1-on-1, and 2-on-1. Now I've got two hands on one. This is a good position to strike from as well. Good setup to go from there. Right now, all we're doing is establishing hand control. And if I want to, I can go, once I wrist roll, pin both his hands to his chest. That's fine. Or I can keep both my hands back and wait for him to try and reach up and grab me again. So the drill to be, first off, wrist roll, wrist roll. He grabs my hands again. Now I can't get him free. Reach across, peel, 2-on-1, wrist roll. Now he grabs my hands again, other side. Reach across, peel, 2-on-1, wrist roll. Got it? Go! Good. Now, grab his wrist here, the wrist roll out. Sometimes they have a really powerful grip. Try and get your fingers in here and your thumb under his hand. You can attack the thumb there, okay? And or also reach in there, and then once you get your fingers, now you forward do the wrist roll out today.
Absolutely not this, not this. It feels like you can just like.
You know what? It's going to come to preference. So if you have a hook there, that's fine. The escape is still going to be the same thing. You're going to come back.
I feel, you know what I mean? Yeah.
You'll probably switch back and forth. Yeah. So reach across, get your fingers in there, peel. There you go, 2-on-1. So once you get that hand free, pin that hand down. There you go. And now get your wrist going. Get your elbows back. Once you guys, 2-on-1, pin it to your opponent's chest. Clear the other hand because he still has hand control on the other arm. We want both hands out. We want him to have no control of our hands. Knock your wrist back, but keep having hands. Grab a hold. Now go like this. Once you pull your elbow out, there you go. That's how you're going to wrist roll out. The thing you can do is grab a wrist, grab a wrist, grab a see some of you guys have some few variations for getting both your hands free, especially off of reaching across, getting the 2-on-1, so reach across and block the other arm off. That's fine. I'm teaching a technique of clearing 2-on-1 and getting your wrist free, but the overall most important point of all this, hand control and head control. As long as when you end up, they don't have control of your hands or your head, that's where you want to be. Okay. That's a different scenario. Rip one hand off, control it. The thing with hand fighting is it's constant. You get one off, he doesn't want to let you go. No matter what. Exactly. So I'm going to go after one, always go after one. Right. You know, once you get enough clearance, as soon as he reaches for one, you're shooting. Bang, 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 bang. You can't get away. Look center. Look center. All right, so we've been working. He's got my head in my hand. Got my head in my hand. Peeling off. Again. Peeling or shoving the elbow. Wrist rolling. Getting out. Back to posture. We've been working, clearing our hands. Bing, bing. Okay? One thing that just came to light was I get my hand free, he gets a 2-on-1 on me. Okay? It'll still work the same to do the technique that you've been working to clear your hand, and that is to reach across, control. The only thing is, I'm going to do it on the top hand instead of the bottom hand. So if I do it on the bottom hand, he's still got a hold. If I can do it on the top hand, I can actually run it into his other grip sometimes and get them both off. If he's got a good hard grip, at least if I get the top hand off, I can pull my arm across and keep this one stuck. The other technique I'll use is I'll actually lace my own arm inside and reach across, pry, pry. So I want the bottom guy to grab a 2-on-1, okay? First technique is reach across, grab the top hand and rip and pull your arm free. Pull your arm free. The second technique is I'm gonna reach and lace through, grab that top hand, lever, and rip. 2-on-1, top hand, rip, rip. 2-on-1, inside, grab this top hand here, lever, rip. Go, same guy. Okay, everybody look in. Now that guy's been working the entire time. I'm gonna go a little bit live here. 60% or so. I mean, you're not trying to win off bottom. The only thing you're trying to do is give him a look by continuing to grab his hands and his head. So we're gonna start here with a head and hand grab. Go, you're gonna clear your hand and your head, and he's gonna continue to grab your wrist. So you can use the techniques that we've been working. Sit up, grab your head, pull you back down. He grabs my head with both hands. Jump it off. Clear your head and your hand. That's all I want you to do. He's just going to continue to grab at you, try and pull you forward, break your posture. You're always going to keep your hands back. Get back, get back, get back. Never let him hand control, never give him head control. Okay? Partner up. Remember, this is live. Live. Bottom end. Grab the head, grab the hand. Try to continue to get hand control and head control. Top guy, clear the hand, clear the head. Never give up head control and posture. Believe it or not, this will kill 75% of any submission attempt this guy has off of his back. All the submissions off the back start with hand control, head control, and breaking your posture. Down now. We're going to start off, same thing. He has control of my head and my hand. We're going to peel and rip the hand fingers off. Shove the elbow forward, wrist roll, posture. Peel, wrist roll, posture. Both sides. So he'll grab my other side. Posture. Elbows back, tight. I'm not leaning way back. I don't have my chin in the air. It's more like I'm in my wrestling stance, just now inside his guard. My chin is down and tucked, my shoulders are back, my elbows are back, and I'm staying high and inside his guard. So if he tries to pull me forward, I'm strong. He's he's not bringing me down there. He's not controlling my hands or my head. Hand off the head, clear the wrist, posture. Go! Other guy on top. Next step. As I'm sure already most of you are picking up, get over here. Wrist control. Wrist roll out, wrist roll out. Reach across, 2-on-1, and I'm out. Reach across. Well, we're not going there yet. No. Wrist roll, wrist roll. Reach across, 2-on-1, wrist roll. Big, big. Big. Work it. Next step, he's got a 2-on-1 on you. Okay, heel the top, rip out. Heel the top, rip out. Come through, lever, and rip out. Come underneath the elbow, lever, and rip out. Now notice when I'm levering, I don't turn my body all the way over here and expose my armpit, my shoulder. I don't give him the underhook. I come right under, stay square in front of him, I lift and pull. And since I have control of his hand, if he wanted to spin an arm bar me, go ahead, arm lock me. It's not going to happen because my posture is too tall, my hand is too close to my body. And I've also got hand control. So how is he going to keep my hand in place to arm bar me? The minute he starts to try and posture and spin, that's it, I'm out. Top hand, rip. Come through, lever, and rip. Go! Here, he's strong. Here, not so strong. Great! Bottom guy. High. 60% or so. You're going to need to grab his head and his hands. Top guy, you're going to work to control with the hands off the head. Get your hand control back and posture. Once you achieve posture, you're going to reach up, try to grab it. If you can't put it back down, put yourself back in, or put it back out again. Okay, ready? Partner up. Go! Okay, you got it. You see how you're against the inside of his elbow right there? Go back. He's got his wrist. Hold down on that elbow. Now his fingers are going to have, there you go, there you go. He's holding on to you here. If you can get something in there, start putting pressure, pull his fingers off your neck. Then he's not going to have as much holding power on your head. Get your head free and pull his hands back. Okay, now I'm going to teach you how not to have to do all that stuff if you're tired. Come here, Val, or Rob. On your back. This Sambo guy that came to our gym at one point, I don't even remember his name. He used to do this because if we were just submission wrestling, and I just started calling it bracing. And I thought it was the laziest, cheapest thing ever, but I think that's probably why I started respecting it. So, if all else fails, I'm going to keep my legs wide, centered on his hips. I'm actually going to take an Olympic grip, flare my elbows onto the side of his hip, keep my head back, posture up high, and I'm just going to stay here and lock myself in place. Go ahead and try and do anything with my arms or my head.
Get him, bro. Get him, bro. Get him, bro. Get him, bro. Come on, bro. Get him.
Besides a minor adjustment with my base or two, I'm going to stay right there. Part of the reason I have this strength is one, I've got my arms together and they're close to my body. Two, pulling my elbows into the side of his hips to try and keep him from actually being able to move much. He can't open his guard. And with my big legs right here, again, it's keeping his hips in place. Just doesn't give him too many options. And he can try and yank at my arms. Thoroughly pretty locked in. If I want to cheat well, it's not really cheating, but if I need to take a breather, I might just sit right here for a sec. Try it. This is called bracing. Like this. One nice thing about this whole bracing, besides just being able to hold position, is let's say they go ahead and they're able to pull their leg out because they somehow got past that and tried bringing their leg up to go for a triangle or such. I'm still going to keep my brace, keep my head up, and just posture. Because nothing has changed. He doesn't have anything isolated. I'm still in a position of power. I'm still I fit all the requirements for keeping everything as strong as possible. So the chances are not in his favor. Go ahead and get your leg up and over and around. That's fine. There's just not much he can do. I can use my elbow to lever. Once I've cleared that space, I don't have to stay in there anymore. Now he's got to try and bring me back in. The one thing I want you to keep in mind is, as he moves around, so switch your hips, I might have to readjust my hips. The other key thing is keeping those elbows planted against those thighs, and keeping your head strong and up. If he pulls my head down, that's fine, as long as I keep it strong and tight and together. What I don't want him to pull my head forward, sit up, and go for a front choke. That's no good. Now we're sucking dirty mat air. We don't want to be there. Can't breathe good there. And you know, the other way that's going to stop you from getting your head put in that position is by flaring my elbows tight here, my knuckles down into him, I'm keeping his hips flat on the mat. So go to sit up. If his hips are flat, he can't catch a hold of me. All right. Next thing we're going to work on, tripoding. Let's see. I'll use you again. Another common position. This one is more use. It has, I think, more use maybe for MMA than the bracing did. So he locks his guard up. Well, I've got posture, certainly. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take all this pressure and all the weight that I have, I'm going to put it on a point on his body, preferably his face or his throat. So, my legs go out. I'm going to underhook one, underhook the head. I'm going to stay tight in here. I'm going to drive my shoulder down and my head tight, and I'm going to keep him stuck together. I'm going to try and keep my body as tight to his head as possible. As he tries to rotate his hips, I'm going to continue to move my weight and stay straight in front of him until a time that I want to posture back, clear my hands. Now tripoding, you can punch from the tripod if you want, sit here and hit. You can even try to submit a guy from the tripod by dropping your elbow in across his chest, grab his trap, and drop your elbow in. And even if he doesn't tap from that, it sucks being there. He can't breathe very well. And what I also know is I'm enticing him to go after my arm. He thinks, ooh, armbar, triangle, it's all right there. So I sit up, I tripod it, and he goes and rotates. And here I am postured again, just like we've been working. He's got nothing except an open guard. So, I'll come in, grab the head, sit up, and stay. As he tries to rotate around, I'm moving. Work staying in the tripod position. Go. Work to try to move your hips back and forth on bottom, right on top. Try to keep the pressure on the neck and move around. Staying straight inside his guard. The nice thing about the tripod is, if they keep their guard locked, there's not much they can do. To actually do any technique such as triangle, armbar, other stuff, they're going to have to open their guard up with their hips. Which is great for us, because now it gives us the chance to escape. Some of you guys with more experience? So, the guy on bottom starts opening his guard. Maybe he drops a hook in, goes to lever. This is exactly the sort of thing we want. He has to make a choice. He cannot stay there. Guard, neutral, right? No, it's clearly sucking for him, so he decides, I gotta get out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. I gotta get rid of him, submit him something. So he drops his hook in. That's fine. He drops that hook in. Now I start passing. I can just pass like that. I can just simply shove, throw it in half guard. Now I'm no longer in guard, neither is he using guard. How neutral was that? He gave me what I want. That's the point. Make his life suck. If he gives up, he makes a decision. It's no longer about keeping me in guard, working guard. Now he has to make choices. He doesn't want to be there anymore. It's no longer neutral. It's, I gotta get out. We're doing our job. Next technique with a tripod. Hit. He's tight. He's not giving us the opportunity to get underneath anything. Let's say we're striking. Bing, bing. Here's what we're gonna do. Forearm comes forward. Drops right onto his chest. We're gonna reach and grab his trap. Flare forward. Tripod. I'm gonna stay here. Let's say he tries to get this arm across. I'm just gonna come back across with my arm and pin his face to the mat, grab his shoulder. Driving my body weight forward onto that. Go ahead and remove this arm. Right again. Right back in. I'm gonna sit here and continue to punish this guy with my arms until he opens his guard enough or I decide I just want to get out. The other thing, forehead. I'm going to reach forward, and I'm not going to reach like this. Go ahead, double arm lock. Ow. Just got double arm locked, and everyone's going to laugh at you. So, I'm going to come together with my hands and my head, and I'm going to reach behind his neck. No, I'm not going to can opener. I can lace my fingers if I want, or I can just grab the traps or just go ahead and sit them together. This is probably what I like to do because I like to be able to get my hands free wherever I need them to be. I come forward, my forehead goes under his chin, and I pose. And I stay here. I'm just going to stay here. Go ahead and move. Another option for this is go from the neck to right onto the biceps and continue to drive your head under his chin or turn his head, plant it here, plant it. The points that I want to attack on the face are cheekbones, under the chin, sometimes the mouth, smashing on someone's teeth, they don't ever like that very much. Getting under the nose and on top of the nose, and always the temple, behind the ear, and bridge of the nose as well. All these are good points to put an elbow, a knuckle, forehead, chin, all that works. Anything that's hard and painful that made your little brother scream, go for it. So, first one, forearm down on the chest, flare it, grab the trap, flare it into the throat, tripod, and post. I'm going to take this hand, and I'm actually just going to put it right on my wrist here and help drive it in. Okay, he tries to remove it. I'm just going to come across the jawline, grabbing his shoulder. I'm going to stay right in here, keeping my hip balanced, keep my pressure forward, but not so far forward that if he tucks underneath, then I go over the top. It's all about knowing where your body weight's at. And once you know where your body weight is, so that you can stay in the position you want to be in, how do you take some of that, put it on your opponent? Preferably his face. Here, go ahead and push this arm off. I'm going to come back across, do it again. Pushes this arm. I can even come back to the chest, grab the trap, drop the forearm. Go ahead and put a little pain on your opponent, but do not brutalize them because they're going to get their chance next. Next one would be forehead. Reach forward together, grab the neck, forehead under the chin, tripod. Turn his head, stay inside on the biceps, control points. Go! Arm on the throat, drop your weight down. There you go. Stay tight, grip his shoulder. Grip his other shoulder. There you go. Alright. Do not let your elbow cross your body. That is throwing yourself into an arm lock. Always keep your elbows and hands right in front of you. One very key important point of all this. I do not let him shove my elbow across. That's why we switch. I get here, he shoves my elbow, I shove his face. Because if his face stays this way, he's going to rotate that way. And he's either going to take a side choke or the arm lock. Or he arm locks. Well, his head's turning the way he wants to go. Funny how that works. Your head turning the way you're going to go. Never would have thought that. Alright? So I turn his face. He goes and shoves my arm. I come back and I shove his face the other direction. I rotate. Another nice little trick I'd like to show you is once you get in on that form, the thing you can do is underhook, dig, Olympic grip or Wigan grip, and now drive forward. This is called a power half. Except now we're doing it on his throat instead of trying to turn it. Drop the forearm in, posture, come under the shoulder, lock the hands, and drive. All from our tripod position. These sort of rides, they're not just a series of moves. You don't just put your arm this way and then you react with your arm that way. No, this is not a static entity, grappling. It's a lot of feel, a lot of things that aren't seen, that are what's going to teach you to be able to use these things the best. Right now, I can honestly say that most of you probably only have a rudimentary understanding. It's going to take hours on the mat of feeling your opponent out, getting in these positions, probably getting armbar, triangle, front choke, side choke. All the things that you're trying to avoid while using these rides are going to happen to you. But in that, you will learn how to avoid getting put into these situations where you made the mistakes, where your pressure was just a little off, where you didn't see his pressure change or his hip change coming beforehand. Understand that, in my opinion, in grappling, there is no move that is instant satisfaction. You cannot just go out there and use it and it'll work the way it's supposed to work every single time perfectly. Because that's not the way grappling works. It's going to take a lot of feel, a lot of time, a lot of experimentation. So, when you take these techniques, if you get caught, once you figure out why you get caught, you're going to be able to take that back, redefine it, and it's also going to depend on the person you're going against. Tall and long, short and thick, really strong, not really flexible. All different types of body parts, body types. So keep that in mind. Other guy on top. Tripod. Grab the head and the arm, keep it, drop the shoulder below the chin. One thing to keep in mind, another point, if for whatever reason you feel like you're in a bad spot, they're going for an arm lock or a triangle, they're rotating their hips, and you feel like they're coming around, what's going to save you? Posture, hand control, and head control. Part of the reason why you should be able to do this and beat them before they can turn the corner on the arm bar is because you know what you're giving up already. You know that the arm lock, the triangle, and the front choke are all options that are probably going to be number one on his mind. Because you're kind of floating dangerously close to those areas. Well, certainly until you really master this down. But that's actually part of what this ride is for. To get your opponent to react to stuff that he thinks, I'm making a mistake. No, this is called Jedi mind tricks. You will armbar me. No, you won't. Oh, now you're getting close. What's happening? The world was going so good, so promising. Now Now you're submitted. Say he shoves my arm back. Hips forward, heads up, posture. I'm getting my hands back. He's not controlling my head or my hands. I'm okay. So understand the fact that you are in a precarious position of sorts, and also is an advantage to you, but also that just keep that in mind. That if you do feel like, I made a mistake, he's turning the corner, go back to your original thing. Hand control, head control. Well, he doesn't have control of my head yet. Turn, right turn. Doesn't have control of my head. The only thing he's got is my hand. If I get my hand free, I'm out. If he does have my head, I get the hand off the head first, and I'm out. Keep working. Okay? I'm going to go over, this all goes into another basic fundamental. If I want his guard open, one of the easiest and best things I can do is posture. I ask, hey Val, would you please open your guard? Oh, see? I said please. All right. So, posture, hand control, head control. Once I've established that, I still got his legs locked up. The easiest things I can do is, since I've got this posture, get on his knees, just back up. Take off a pair of pants. Sit up, posture, take off a pair of pants. That's it. I've now broken his guard. Sit up, posture, to the knees, take off the pants. Stay strong, inside. He sits up, keep him off. I'm going to continue to take off the pants. Continue, continue, continue. The other one. I'm going to take the point of my elbow, go into the femoral artery, and start driving into that nerve. And then push back. Take the pants off, stay strong and postured. Femoral artery, posture. The last one, palms to the floor. Just going to reach back, hit his leg until he opens it up. Here. Palm to the floor and hit. You'll open. I'm out. But all of this works only with posture. If I go back here and start pushing down on the legs, sit up, grab the front choke. Okay, now he's got a hold of my head. He's got head control. I didn't want to give him that. I'm not necessarily choked, but this is making my life harder. So I'm going to have to get my head free, my posture back, femoral artery, and open. Work it. If you want to be strong in the guard, you need to work your core. I'm not trying to make a big spiel about how everybody loves to use the word core to sell more memberships, say some doohickey and widget. This is not a gimmick. Truly, your abs, your low back, upper back, everything, your ability to hold yourself strong and in position is going to go really far for you as far as being in somebody's guard. Seriously. Strong core is going to help you to keep them from moving you around, taking you off your base, shoving your head down. To accomplish all those things that have to break your core. Of course, there's leverage involved by grabbing the head, pulling the arm and the elbow. All that is going to be made that much more difficult by being physically fit and strong. People all the time I hear about, oh, that person uses too much strength, technique. Here's the deal. Strength is technique within strength. If you do not possess the strength to pull off said technique, it ain't going to work for you. When I roll, when I fight, when I practice, practice, I hit moves with 100% strength. It's not that I'm not, and the technique just makes it that much easier for me to pull it off. But I use power when I roll. I don't just hold on and throw strength into everything. But when I'm where I want to be, when I'm going to ride somebody, when I'm going to take my submission, if I take that guy's head, I'm going to peel that arm off. I use strength and explosiveness and speed. The quicker you can lock a submission on somebody, the less time he's got to escape. That's simple. That's a simple principle, right? The same thing goes, if I am a physically strong guy, the technique is saying if I'm stronger, I win. Something to keep in mind for those of you that don't hit the weight room, do calisthenics, do body weight exercises, swing the mace, swing bells, clubs, whatever. Strength training is important for athletics, period. All right, moving on. Back to the topic at hand, the guard. So, Rob, now, has anybody here not heard of the rubber guard? That's okay. The less you know, the better off you are anyway. So, rubber guard. Everybody sees it. It's a technique used by very flexible individuals to try and essentially lock down and isolate an arm to keep themselves into a good tight position and use that flexibility and trapping to move themselves into submission attempts, such as Nick Diaz against Takanori Gomi. We wrapped the leg all the way around the shoulder and dropped the shin inside and choked him with his own shin bone. Can you do rubber guard? Okay, so a basic look of rubber guard is this. Go ahead, throw it on. We'll trap here. Or try and pull the foot in front of my face. Can you do that? Here. Now, what he's doing is he's trying to isolate an arm and at the same time lock my head down. Because if he can't control my head, he can't keep the rest of me in there. Head control, hand control. Always. So first off, one, we don't want to let a guy get a hold of our arm like this as best as we can. The world's not perfect though, so the likelihood is if you're on the mat, it's going to happen. So he gets a hold of my arm. First off, recognize, feel from when this guy is pulling his leg up. You should feel that he's trying to isolate your arm. You can feel him trapping your arm right now even by bringing his thigh up. My arm is getting pinched between his thigh and his lat. That should be your first warning signal. However, just because he's got this arm, if you can at all costs, keep this hand free and keep your head position strong. First off, if your arm is in and your head position strong, one, he's not going to be able to really trap this arm well unless he pulls the leg in front. Okay? So first off, even with this arm caught, we're strong. Two, if he goes to pull this leg up in front of us, okay? Now he can try and choke. He does. He's got the arm locked. We're stuck in here. So that's just another example of someone trying to control my head. So how do I stop him from doing that? First, he goes to wrap. I'm going to post, take his leg out of it, and get my head free. He's got a hold of my head. This arm comes up and inside, drives forward, and gets that hand off my head. Second, I put this knee down, and I get my hand inside the head. Everything he's doing is over here. That doesn't mean I'm just going to wait over here and do nothing because he's moving on this side. That arm comes up, that knee comes down, this hand stays tight, comes inside, and I clear that head. The second thing about this, he goes to get that leg in front of my face. First off, I like to put my head on that ankle and drive it forward. If I let him get it on my throat, now he's trying to choke me. I don't want that. He's got much better control because he's leveraged under my chin and he's choking my windpipe. So, soon as that leg comes in front of my face, I smash it. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these toes and keep them planted. Third, I'll angle, rip my arm free. If his leg is pinched flat here, it's only a matter of time before I can work my way out of this. Now, if I can't quite get my arm free yet, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to keep my hips trapped tight, and I'm going to work to limp arm out. Here. Once I'm free, I should be able to simply pass guard by getting in front of the ankle. First off, kill that leg. Clear my hip. Second, he starts getting the leg in front of my face, smash the leg. Turn the corner. Keep it smashed, limp arm out. Always keeping this leg crushed. And lastly, and this one's kind of fun for me, he pulls his leg in front. I grab, and I take hold, and I try to work my hand free so that I can get in front of this bad boy. Put it on my shoulder, and put a toe hold on him. You do it with this leg? Okay. Catch. Get my hand free. Grab the toes, put the shoulder in, use the neck, toe hold. Now, not everybody can do rubber guard today. Keep this as a mental note. If you guys want to write this down in your notebooks right now, feel free to do so. Now we're going to move on. Go! Think about being in the guard. Anytime someone's underneath me, they're going to go through hell. There are no free rides on bottom. Side control, mount, guard. He is under me. How do I accomplish this? One, with guard, his hips are able to take some of my weight, but I can spread my hips out a bit and drop my hip pressure onto his hips, at least keeping him flat on the mat. It's not the same as being in side control where I can smash his diaphragm and take away his ability to breathe. We're going to do what we can within the guard. Second, try to stay always hand control, head control, of course. But as we're in here, we're going to get tight, we're going to hurt the guy. So, I like to get an underhook. From here, I can keep myself nice and tight. Inside his guard, I can reach and grab the hand if I want to. And stay in here as he tries to move around. I'll continue to keep my base and stay strong. I can transfer to a tripod and then back to my base again. The whole key is I'm riding, I'm staying where I want to be. Okay, now, inflicting pain. So, the first technique you've seen, dropping the forearm on the chest, grabbing the trap, and getting on the throat. Simply staying in here, as long as I'm in here, I'm going to take away his ability to breathe easily. Second, I can turn it into a power half. Lock in here. All these things are probably, it's unlikely that your opponent on bottom is going to sit there and just take it. If he's tired, he may. And that's fine. As long as he's going to stay there, then we're just going to beat him down until he's bleeding, bruised, and he wants to quit. Anytime we break their will, we win. And our opponents is not to just defeat our goal is not to just defeat opponents, it's to break them. People don't like to be put in pain. So we put them in pain. We make everything as uncomfortable and as unhealthy for them as possible. That way they're not thinking, how do I get out of this? Okay, he's moving here, I'm going to rotate to my next move. I'm going to set him up into this. They're thinking, Jesus Christ, get this guy off of me. Oh my God, I hate this elbow. If I ever could get out of here, that's what we want to think. We want him to be panicked, upset, not able to think clearly. So, we have our power half, which we've already gone over. We've also used. We can also take the forearm blade against the face, power half, drive in. You use a full tripod, or just step up one leg. Another thing we can always use, don't forget, you have digits, you have knuckles. Front knuckles, top knuckles. I can be in here, I can take these knuckles and stick it into the side of his throat. I can take my top knuckle and drive it into his cheekbone. Grab his head, take my knuckles, and grind in here. He automatically reacts. And now he gave me his head and I've got it cupped up nice and tight. It's a good control point, I can crank on it a bit. Oh, he opened his guard up now. Free to move on to something else. Digits. I reach behind his ear, stick my thumb in that little spot where his jawbone connects to his skull. Reach up, Ben's favorite. Reach around the neck, take my fingers inside the mandible and pull. He will not like that, I promise. Take my thumbs, stick them inside and under his chin. Again, the soft points are under the chin, behind the neck, behind the ears, the jawbone, mouth, bridge of the nose, under the nose, temples, cheekbones. Now Val, he's a model, so he's got real high cheekbones here. So it's easy for me to find a spot to put something on him. It's not my forearms, I can stick my knuckles into his face. Here, right on top. With all these things, if I can get a guy to lay there and let me just punish the crap out of him, and I'll do it, as long as he'll allow me to. Likely what I'm going to get first is a reaction. And that reaction is what I'm looking for. I go here, I stick my knuckles on his face. Oh, look at that. He's opening his guard up nice and easy for me. Let's say he's got me pulled down, tighten his guard. Here we are, we're stuck. I take my fingers, stick them in his collarbone, dig him deep. Oh, I got my power half, now I'm out. I made him react. He got a double underhook on me. Not good. So I'm trying to base. I catch his neck, I stick my knuckles to the side of his face, and now I made him react. He forgot about keeping a hold of my underhook and let go. This doesn't just apply to the face, the ribs. Take my knuckles, get them into his rib cage. Work my underhook back and front, hand control. My elbow point right into his rib. One of my favorites, forehead to the diaphragm. Now all I'm going to do is give it a little shove. I wait, I listen to his breathing. Takes a breath in, takes a breath, lets the breath out. I hit him with it. I make him take breaths like that while he's underneath me. Now he's not getting a full breath. He isn't breathing in rhythm anymore. Now all of a sudden, when you can't breathe well, I'm like getting tired. I gotta get out of here. Panic. It's exactly what I want. Truly, I'm an asshole when I'm on top. I don't want this guy to be happy for one side. I don't want him to be anywhere in the ring or on the mat with me and be comfortable at all. I want to destroy his mental well-being, and then I'm going to attack his physical well-being. Once I've dismantled him, I'm done. I win. Okay, partner up. Take it easy on your opponents. And I just want you to work the basic concepts about knuckle in the face. They will tell you when you've got the right spot, because it really doesn't take that much pressure. Work your forearm against the throat, face, working back so you go can opener, one of the neck. Just play around. Think about hand control, head control, body position. Let him take the unders. Get his hand free, get your forearms on his face, grind, clear. Just play with it. Easy. Go. They have a weird. They've got 14 inferior ones, and Pancras has 10 superior.
Wait, now I want to get this debate on film. This is a good debate.
And Shuto's lock flow is a lot bigger than Chris's lock flow.
That's because Shuto uses a bunch of show holds.
No, it's because Shuto used closed fists when Chris had open hands.
That's because Pancras guys, their punches were too devastating to use.
So they had to slap people with their
Yes. They had so much ki.
What about when they changed the rules when they stopped allowing heel hooks because everyone's getting their legs broke? So they said, hey, let's put the toe hold in instead of the heel hook.
And Shuto said, oh, what's a toe hold?
No, then the guys are getting their legs broke twice as fast because of the toe hold.
Awesome. Again, we're just going to basically cover striking because striking within the guard is not so much about the punches that you throw, it's how you throw them and your philosophy behind the way you use them. Same as if I've got head and hand control, that means my hands are free to hit. Okay? Now, anybody can just get in front of something and wail on it. But any kind of punch you want to throw, whatever, it doesn't matter what punch, what strike specifically you throw. The concepts are this. At least try to get one hand through if you want to punch him. That's why we're doing stuff like 2-on-1. Bing, now I got his arm trapped. He goes and catches his hand. Oh, and I come in. Oh, I stole it from Eric Paulson. So, controlling his hands to give myself an avenue to hit. Even if he's got one hand up, what would you rather do? Does it really matter that much if you have to punch through a hand before you get to him? I mean, people punch through bricks, hit a guy through a phone book. Yeah, I'll take a hand. Bam, I'll just continue to abuse it until I get something else that I want. The other thing, change direction. He's protecting my hook, my straight punches. So, no. Change direction. I go from a hook or a straight to a hammer fist. He's protected here, not down the center. He protects down the center. I come back with a hook. He protects head, body, body. It's really not all that unlike fighting on the feet, except for trapping, I guess is what you might want to call it, or Chi Sao. I've done some Wing Chun, JKD training and whatnot, and honestly, it comes in handy because someone's always trying to grab a hold of something inside here. As long as I understand that, I also understand that just because he's got a hold of me doesn't mean he's necessarily got control. I can easily take control of that situation myself. I'm going to work body and head. I can't get head hungry. Oh, I'm just going to crack the crap out of him, you know? I can miss. Things happen. It's not a static environment. So keep in mind, good posture, good base, bing, 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 working head and body, changing direction, and controlling his points of defense. Sometimes, come back, I open the guard just like we were doing. His mind all of a sudden goes from getting hit to grappling. He thinks it's a grappling match now. So he starts working to protect his guard. Bing! Wide open. I reach back, trying to break his guard open. Reach back. Oh, bam. Right down the pipe. I can come in here. Tripod, hit short, hit short, hit short, hit short. Elbow, elbow, hit short, hit short. He's going to try and get out of here, arm bar me, whatever. Hit short, hit short. Come here, hit short, hit short, hit short. Now I hit body, body, body. Start passing his guard. Big, and again. Short weapons are sometimes better than long weapons. Everybody thinks if they want to wind up the big punch, throw the big strike. Bigger movement should equal more power. Perhaps. What good is power if it doesn't hit what your intended target is? Well, not really all that great at all. If I lose half of it trying to get through his hand, or if I don't even land the strike correctly at all, then what was all that power for? Sometimes it's better to stay in here and hit short until I get that opportunity to land that big punch. Don't ignore openings to throw something wild or big, or even doesn't even have to be wild, but to throw the big punch. Don't get greedy. Here I am, I'm hitting. Let's say he's got a hold of my hands. I just start punching him in the face. I get free. Now I'm hitting hard. Hitting here. He's got his hands up. He's got my head. So I punch the body, punch the body, punch the body. I start working the face. Now I got his hand off my head and I trapped it. Bang, bang, bang. Elbowing. Striking is about fundamentals and philosophies. It's not about just hitting a guy. Keep that in mind, and you're going to be very successful when you hit. All right. Submission. So, what do you think comes to mind? What do you think your first option is going to be for attacking a submission from the guard? What comes to mind? Anybody? A what? A leg lock. Why is that? His legs are right in front of us. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to get into a leg lock. And I always like to start with the Achilles lock. It's sort of the A to B, A to Z of leg locks. Also, if I have an Achilles lock, that means I've got control of his leg, and it allows me to go to any of the other holds I want to go to. Heel hook, toe hold, whatever have you. So, first entry I'm going to show into the Achilles is called the fake and go. It's just a nice starter. We start in front of his guard, get a hold of his feet. I'm going to fake one direction and come back and go the other. By doing that, I'm throwing him off. He thinks I'm going to try to go this way, so he tries to compensate for that. He gives it to me back this way. I can use it to pass guard, but today I'm going to use it to get into my Achilles. As I throw it by, I throw it right into the opposite leg, or into the opposite arm, from here. Now, today, for the first Achilles, we're just going to finish by taking the blade of the wrist bone, getting it deep across the Achilles tendon, keeping my elbow at a 45 degree, I'm going to drop my hip, and then I'm going to arch in. Okay, naturally, it's going to hurt like a son of a bitch. He's probably going to lift his leg. So I'll just step over. Is it okay? No, it's no. Okay. Fake and go. Right to here. Step, lift, turn over. But it's important that to get him to turn, I have to apply pressure to submit from right here. That gives me what I want. I've come across guys, they don't turn. I just tap them out right here. That's fine. Either way, whether he taps there or he starts to turn, I can get where I want to go. Fake, and go, lift, and drop. Sit down, equal your opponent, drop this knee down, keep this knee up. Reach back, grab your wrist bone. You're going to lift back, and you're going to pull your bone up. So he should feel pressure, lots of pressure here, start to feel pressure here, and here. Even if he's very flexible, because I'm Achilles locking him, I'm causing immense pain right here. So I'm not just trying to pull this leg back and back and back and back and back, perhaps losing my balance position. It's a combination of all three. Try it. This is not the way you take an Achilles lock. Ever. Flat, flat. This does me no good. I want the smallest amount of surface area possible. That's why we use the blade of the forearm. Shuck him by. If I go flat, flat, eventually and I'm not really applying that much pressure. If I go blade, he screams. Blade. Blade to the forearm. Not flat and flat. Also, this teaches you to arch like this. No, I want my pressure to come. I want it to cut through the ankle. I don't want to arch into it. I want to put all my pressure this way. I don't want it to go like that. Cut through the ankle. Cut through the ankle. Turns over. I'm not arching. I cut through the ankle. So use the Achilles lock to cause pain and lift their hips up off the mat. Make sure I love here. There you go. Now, drop down, drop down, drop down. There you go. Now, arch it. Feel the difference? Now, hip, and now turn to the pain. Now, step. Yeah. Okay. Here's one of my favorite entries. I don't really have a name for it. I learned it from Matt Hume, and it works excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, many of you are probably, well, we'll go back to earlier in the seminar to split his legs open by using our elbows to pull pants down. Okay? Reach back, and I'm going to lift the leg, and I'm going to catch the Achilles. Not his calf. Catch the Achilles. And if I have to lift up a little bit to do so, that's fine. But I want to get the Achilles. So I've got it there. Fist on my chest. Here's the key. I'm sure many of you have seen people just fall back into this. Okay? You've also heard certain style instructors say, oh, never fall back in that leg lock because he's going to stand up as you fall back. All those things have a relative amount of truth to them. Yeah, that's right. Don't fall back. Instead, we're going to actually pull our opponent into us. So split, hook. Now, when I go back, I'm actually going to rock up on my toes here. And I'm going to sit back, straightening his leg and pulling it into me, and then turning it over. Getting his leg nice and bent, keeping pressure on the Achilles. And now, I'm going to use one arm to finish. That's all. My hip is going to go towards that pole over there. That's how I finish. Because I'm in good position, I don't have to sit back and reef on his leg like this. I'm right here. Achilles. That's it. Now, by pulling his leg straight, he can't sit up very easily. It also allows me to pull his leg into me and get that turn. It gives me a lot of power when I bring my leg across. So, Valiant, go ahead and try to sit up as I sit back. I'm back farther than he can make up the distance. Here's my Achilles. I bend his leg. I use the blade. I'm going to hip at an angle. Not arch. Split, catch, rock. Back, over, sit, post, hip. Truly, to finish the Achilles, if you know you're doing it right, when you can finish it with one arm. So that means you're not using arm power, it means you're using hip power in your correct positioning. Go! Step, bridge guard. Step up, hook the Achilles. Rock back on that toe. Now when I sit back, do not pull my foot back and sit here. There's no power in that. There's no pull. There's no force. Hook, hook, rock back. And when I way, pulling him with me, keeping a tight grip on that ankle. I yank his hips towards me, then I'm going to plant, step over, and sit. Right into a bent leg, right into my Achilles lock. Pull. Your partner's butt should squirt on, should be pulled on the mat, leaving a little sweat trail. Hook, sit, hook, finish. Go. All right. The toe hold, one of my absolute favorites. A nice easy way to get into this one, of course, we'll start with posture. Break open his guard. Here we go. I want to get his knee across. Sometimes they'll do that just for us. I break open the guard, he goes here. Okay. So, open, come here, get that knee across. Once I can get that knee across, now I'm going to catch the toes, and I'm going to, as I sit back, I'm going to hook his foot. Here, here. Once I'm in on my toe hold, I'm going to flare his heel outside his hip. I'm not going to put it to his butt. I'm going to put it above his hip. I'm going to pull his heel to me while I lock his toes down. And in fact, all the power is not coming from my hand on the toes. It's coming from my support elbow that's using my whole body to turn. If he goes to roll, that's fine, because we're in position. Here we are, we got our toe hold, turn, lock. Split open the guard, get the knee across. Catch the toe, step up, and hook. Key points are grabbing high enough on the toes to get the most leverage possible. Getting the heel outside the hip and using my arm in conjunction with my body to torque the heel to the sky. Also, staying above the knee and keeping it bent. Once I'm here, I'm pinching, staying tight. Heel, there we go. It'll attack his ankle and his knee if done properly, not just his foot. I can figure 4 if I want. This way, this is really sort of inconsequential. As long as I can get, if it's tight and it's locked, I'm too busy breaking his leg to worry about if I'm here or here. Again, the faster I get it on him, the less chance he's got to escape. All I truly need is just enough pressure for my knees to trap his hip and keep his knee bent. And then I finish. Split, get the knee across. Grab the toes first, step up, pull it back, just like we did with our Achilles, get our leg over, and here we are. Try it. Yeah. You can go here, you can go this one down, this one up. The key is you gotta get these legs pinched to keep his knee bent here and his hip isolated so that he's not rotating up and down. Now, you need your hand position higher on your toe. There you go. Pull in. There, grab a toe, grab a toe, grab a toe. Grab it. Come over, sit way back. Sit back. There you go. That's it. I want you to rotate. I want you to try and pop her heel outside her hip. And what? Kind of. I want it here. See? Pull it. Watch it. Let go. Okay, here. is shove the toes down and lift the heel out. Keep that pressure on top of the toe. Here, I reach back, I hook it up. When I come back, I keep that toe already bent in position. This turns his body for me. All I'm gonna do is catch it. Now I've got that leg position bent. There we go. If you get this leg through, it's the bend of the foot that turns him where I want him to go. Bending the toe. Once I got this is my control point. This is my lock right there. I don't let go once I get that lock. Even if he starts rolling around, I'm going to keep hold of this lock. If I can position myself in any way, shape, or form, I can still finish this. As long as I have this lock. Break, turn, go ahead, step up, bring it through. Here we go. Outside the hip. This lock, waiting for the second lock. A number one. Go. And that's something that can be applied from so many different directions. Break the guard, grab the toe hold, roll through, take it that way, sit forward, grab the toe in front of you, crank it here, step over. You can just simply drop into it right here. Once you figure out how to keep that pressure on the ankle, it's the only control point you're going to need. Thank you everybody for coming out today. I hope all of you are able to apply a lot of these concepts within the sparring and role you're going to do at your fellow schools. I will have to give you some advice, and that is, before you take and wrap around somebody's hand and grab them and try to pull their mandible off their face, make sure A, he's a good friend of yours and you're probably getting it back for $5 he owes you, or that he's cool with that. Before you start prying eyeballs out and such, make sure that they're on the same level as you, because there are a lot of people that really, they don't want to be put into that kind of pain within training. But those of you that want to get the most out of this, that want to learn how to make your techniques as effective as possible, get together with those like-minded folks. Just be determined that it won't matter when you come home to your honey at night. Your eye might be a little swollen, you might have some bruises all over your face, but they'll understand, and hopefully you and your partners will be the better for it. So thank you. Really appreciate you guys coming out here, and it's been my pleasure. Thank you.